What is going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Games on Deck. Today we're going to be talking about 5 reasons you should or should not join the United States military, or these are things more or less you should be thinking about before you join. Without further ado, everybody, this is Games on Deck. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the title screen. So today we're going to talk about things you should probably consider before joining the United States military. And the very first thing that I'm going to put on this list is, can the military help me reach my goal? First thing you should do is establish exactly what it is you want to do. Do you want to be a doctor? Do you want to have a trade, for example, welding? Do you want to do something like that? Or are you the type of person that just likes combat? You want to get out there and just serve your country and do what it is that the country can allow you to do. Whatever your story is, wherever you come from, establish what that one goal is and see, can the military help me reach that goal? For example, I am a corpsman, so that means that I'm in the medical field. And my whole goal getting out of the military was to be involved in something medical, because I know that there will always be work in the medical field. So something you should consider before joining any branch of the United States military is, what do I want to do, and can the military help me get there? The second thing that I would consider before joining the United States military is to consider what branch is going to be the best for me. Each branch has their perks, each branch has their downsides. So the very first thing we're going to talk about is the United States Army. So I had a buddy that was involved in E.O.D. with the United States Army. Really great at math. He's awesome at what he does. He ended up getting out after his first enlistment title, did everything. So whenever he got into that field, he had to wear a whole bunch of equipment, which was super heavy for him, but he was physically fit and able to do it. But it did damage him a little bit as he was getting out because of all of the weight of the equipment that they have to wear. The positive to all this is he was involved in a lot of robotics, which they use to defuse the bombs or do what they need to do. And I know that the Army has that specific field that you can get into. So he was able to use that robotics background to really help himself soar in that field. And now he's got a full-time job outside dealing specifically in mathematics and all of the things that he is passionate about. So consider that before joining the United States Army. The Marines, you should consider, am I physically fit? Because they are probably one of the most strict branches when it comes to physicality and also appearance, how we're looking. So am I of the mindset that I can totally handle the Marines when I go in? You need to be young. And they also pick where you're going to go. You don't really have much of a say when you say, hey, I want to do this and this and this. Really, they make those choices for you. So you should probably consider that before joining the Marines. They are the few, they are the proud, but they are a great group of guys. I can tell you that because I am a corpsman and we deal a lot with Marines. Next, what about the Navy? You say, hey man, you're in the Navy. What do you think about the Navy? Well, the Navy is going to do a lot of things at sea. So for example, if you are into welding, there is like underwater welding and there's basic welding that the Navy offers. You can join the Seabees and do a lot of things like construction. And the other branches have these kind of things as well, but the Navy is really geared towards the ocean and sea travel. So for example, if you are a welder and you're really good at it and you want to be able to take that outside of the military, the Navy can help you on your way to get there and give you credits towards those types of trades. And it can also give you credits towards, like medical field, for example, in the corpsman rate, like I am. I can take certain classes and such while I'm in the Navy. I can utilize TA after 3 years now, which is a little bit of a bummer, but you can utilize those things to really build your skills in your specific field. So what about the Air Force? So my dad, before he passed away, he was in the United States Air Force, and he was an airline mechanic and an electrician. So he would specifically go on and make sure that the planes were ready to go before takeoff, and then he would do inspections afterwards. He was responsible for a lot of the programming and the electronics to make sure that the sensors and such were working properly, and he also did general mechanic maintenance on these aircraft. So something to consider if you're thinking about the United States Air Force is you probably ought to have a little bit of this going on, because their ASVABs are typically higher, and their boot camp, from what I heard, is one of the most strict. So just be prepared for that when they come in. One of the perks, though, to being in it is I think they probably have the best food. How about the U.S. Coast Guard? Well, home sweet home, ladies and gentlemen. They are going to be here close to shore, which might work out for you, because if you're close to shore, you have a lot more things that you can do here at home. So I've also heard that they are pretty strict when it comes to their boot camp as well, and they're a great group of guys as well, and they hold down the fort here. So that's something else to consider. I'm not 100% sure on what they offer you, but it is something to consider as well. Space Force. I don't know much about the Space Force. It's brand new. I know it's still up and coming. So if it's something that you're interested in, I would specifically talk to folks that are already involved in it. The third thing that you should probably be asking yourself before you join the United States military, am I going to be enlisted or am I going to be an officer? The only way you can really go officer is if you have that wonderful expensive piece of paper that they call a degree in a specified field. Now, you can't just have a degree in underwater basket weaving and expect to get the most amazing officer position if you're going to go officer. For example, I have my degree in K through 12 education, music education. I spent 5 years getting that degree, and here I am sitting enlisted. Could I have done things officer? Absolutely, but that's going to bring me to another point a little bit later whenever you're considering whether or not you want to go enlisted or officer. So there are benefits to both. If you go enlisted, you're gonna pretty much be doing most of the grunt work, but there are opportunities in enlisted to lead and do some really great things and retire out. Officer, you're gonna get paid a little bit more, but you're also responsible for everything going on in your departments. You're gonna be doing a lot of leadership things, a lot of paperwork, or you're gonna be out there in the field, literally doing most of the officer-based work that they would have for you out there. So consider those kinds of things before joining. The fourth question you should be asking yourself before I join the United States military is, am I physically and mentally ready to do it? So the military is going to put a lot of stress on you, especially physically. Even in the Navy, we're doing a lot of physical work as corpsmen and such. We're going back and forth, lots of steps, lots of things like that. But if you're in the Marines or you're in the Army and you're out in the field, you're going to be hiking through some tough terrain or some very unnatural environments to you from where you are here in the United States. You might be in a total absolute desert area that is unbelievably hot and dry, coming from like the swampy south of Mississippi. That's a whole different type of hot. So those are some things you want to consider. Am I physically fit? Am I ready? Because you will be taking tests, PRT tests, which is physical readiness tests. Are you able to run 2 miles in a certain amount of time? Can you do so many push-ups, sit-ups, or planks? Those kinds of things. So consider that before joining. If you aren't in shape, I would probably get in shape first and see if you can handle it. And then if you can, it might be something to consider for you. The fifth and final thing that I would consider before joining the United States military is whether or not you have family support. So for example, if you have a spouse and you have kids or something along those lines, they're going to be moving with you from station to station. Or if they're not, do you have a plan for them to be here in the States while you are overseas? Or how you're going to take care of them? Another thing to consider is your family military savvy? Are they prepared to support you? Or are they totally against it? Because in that mental game where you're away for so long, you're going to have all these things going on, and the only support you have are the people to your left and to your right, and you're going to be alone. So I would consider your family support quite a bit before going, because it can be a very mentally draining thing to know that when you come home, everybody wants you to go and see them, but none of them want to come and see you. Now, granted, when you're in the military, you're probably going to make a lot more friends, and the camaraderie is really great, but definitely consider that family support. So that has been 5 reasons as to whether or not you should join the United States military right now. Now, I am not a recruiter and I can't make that decision for you, but I would weigh heavily on those kinds of concepts before you go and speak to a recruiter. I'll probably talk about my own military career in another video. If you see that, it'll probably be up here at the end of the video. Feel free to take a look at that if this was helpful to you. Please go ahead, like, subscribe, climb that mask up, ring the bell for more notifications. I'm happy to get these videos out to you. If you have any questions, post them down below. I love reading comments and going down and making sure that I'm able to answer questions to the best of my ability. If I cannot, I know a lot of people that can probably get the answer for you, and we'll get you going from there. Without further ado, I thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day. This has been Games on